Welcome to English Story Hub. Learn English through fun stories. Improve vocabulary, listening, and speaking skills. Like, subscribe, and keep learning with us.
The Sky Garden. The first star fell when the world was quiet. Leora was sitting on the porch steps, knees drawn to her chest, chin resting on her arms. The summer night hummed with crickets and the distant chorus of frogs in the marsh, but the sound was nothing compared to the heaviness in her chest. She waited for it, the streak of light across the sky, a promise of something magical, something different. When it came, slicing through the black canvas like a silver tear, her breath caught. "Please," she whispered, her voice so soft it might have been mistaken for the wind. "Please let things change. Let it not feel so hard anymore." The star vanished into the horizon, as they always did, and the sky stitched itself shut again. She stayed like that for a long time, staring up, waiting for the whisper of an answer that never came. Leora had been making wishes since she could remember. First as a game her mother taught her, every time you see a shooting star, you have to wish, because that's when the sky listens. She believed it when she was 5. She clung to it when she was 7 and her father stopped coming home. She clung tighter when she was 8. And her mother stopped singing at night. By 12, it wasn't a game anymore. It was the only thing that felt like hope. But nothing ever changed. "Leora!" Her mother's voice floated from inside the house, sharp and tired. "Bed. Now." Leora closed her eyes, the weight of disappointment pulling at her like gravity. One more look at the sky. One more whisper. "Please," she murmured. "Just don't let me feel invisible anymore." Then she stood, brushed the dirt from her jeans, and stepped inside where the house smelled like leftover coffee and the walls were too thin to keep in the silence. The next night, she came back. And the next. And the next after that. Sometimes, she wished for big things. Sometimes for small things, like, "Let tomorrow be good," or "Let mom smile once." Each time, the stars burned bright and quiet, like they were mocking her hope. Weeks turned to months. Nothing changed. But still, she wished. The whisper. It happened on the night she almost gave up. Leora sat on the grass instead of the porch this time, legs stretched out, bare feet brushing the dew-soaked blades. The moon was a thin sliver, like the sky itself was tired. She tilted her head back, staring at the specks of light so far away they might as well not exist. "I'm done," she whispered. "You don't care. Or maybe I don't matter enough. Either way, I'm done wishing." The words stung, but they were true. Then, as if the sky had been waiting for those. A star fell. It streaked across the heavens, burning brighter than any she'd seen before. She almost didn't bother. Almost turned her head away. But something inside her stirred, one last ember of hope glowing faintly. "Fine," she said bitterly. "One more. I wish." Her throat tightened. "I wish I didn't feel so alone." The star burned out. The night was still. And then, "Your wishes are planting hope in the sky." The voice was soft as silk, as clear as if someone had leaned close and breathed the words into her ear. Leora froze. Her heart kicked like a startled bird. What?" she whispered, looking wildly around. But the yard was empty, the windows dark. Only the endless sky stretched above her. She swallowed hard. Who said that?" The silence deepened, heavy and full, as though the night itself were holding its breath. Then the voice came again, shimmering like starlight in her mind. "Every wish you make grows roots. Every hope you speak plants something new. Look closer, child of earth. The sky is blooming." Leora's pulse roared in her ears. She stumbled to her feet, staring upward, her mouth dry. And for the first time in her life, she saw it, tiny glimmers between the stars, like seeds of light unfurling into delicate shapes. A garden. A garden of stars. Her knees nearly gave out. "This isn't real," she breathed. "I'm dreaming." "You are awake," the voice said gently. "And the things you plant in hope never die. They grow, even when you cannot see them yet." Leora pressed her trembling hands to her mouth. She didn't know if she wanted to laugh or cry or scream. For years, she had been whispering into the void, and now the void was whispering back. The invitation. The voice spoke again, softer this time, like the wind moving through leaves. "Would you like to see?" "See what?" Her voice cracked. "What your hope has made." Before she could answer, the ground beneath her seemed to vanish. The world tipped, spun, dissolved into silver threads that wove around her like a cocoon. She gasped, weightless, as the stars rushed closer, brighter, until they weren't pinpricks anymore. They were rivers of fire, blossoms of light blooming in endless black. And in the midst of it all was a garden. A vast expanse of luminous vines and shimmering petals, constellations blooming like flowers, roots of light threading through the darkness. Stars pulsed gently, glowing like living hearts. Leora floated among them, breathless. Her voice broke. "I did this. Your wishes did. Every word you spoke, every hope you clung to. You thought they were lost." The voice sounded like laughter and lullabies all at once. "But hope never vanishes, child. It only waits to grow." Leora reached out, and the blossom of light drifted to her palm, soft and warm like a living ember. Inside it, she saw something, herself, years ago, sitting on the porch, whispering her very first wish. Tears stung her eyes. For the first time in forever, she didn't feel invisible. She felt infinite. The garden was endless. Leora drifted among shimmering vines and luminous blossoms that pulsed like tiny suns. Each petal was translucent, veined with light, as though they were spun from the threads of stars themselves. The air, if this place even had air, was alive with a soft hum, a harmony of countless whispered wishes blooming together. She floated weightless, her heart pounding so hard it hurt. How is this possible?" she murmured. "Hope makes all things possible," the voice replied, warm and patient. "Every star you have seen fall was a seed breaking free. Every wish planted roots. And now," the voice paused, almost tenderly, Now you have come to tend them. Leora blinked. Tend them? I don't understand. The garden shimmered, shifting as though stirred by some unseen wind. Trails of starlight coiled around her, forming a path between glowing blossoms that curved deeper into the garden's heart. "Come," said the voice. "There is more to see." Leora hesitated only a second before following. Her bare feet touched nothing, yet she moved as if walking on invisible ground, each step trailing tiny sparks. The vines swayed gently, releasing clouds of glittering pollen that drifted like fireflies. As she walked, she noticed something strange. Among the radiant blooms, there were darker patches, wilted vines, flowers that hung limp, their light dim and flickering like dying embers. She slowed, a chill pricking her skin. What happened to these? "Not all wishes survive," the voice said softly. "Some lose their roots when hope is abandoned. Others are smothered by despair." Leora knelt beside one of the withered blossoms. It was grey, brittle as ash, its petals curled inward as if hiding from the stars. Her throat tightened. "Is this one mine?" A pause. Then, "No. But you will know yours when you see it." The words filled her with a strange dread and a heavier curiosity. She rose, continuing along the starlit path, her eyes darting from bloom to bloom. At last, the path widened into a clearing where the stars themselves seemed to bend closer, forming an arch of blazing constellations overhead. In the center of the clearing stood something unlike anything she'd seen before, a tree. Its trunk gleamed silver, its bark etched with patterns like flowing rivers of light. Its branches reached endlessly, heavy with fruits that glowed like tiny galaxies. Each fruit pulsed with colors that shifted and shimmered like dreams made solid. Leora's breath caught. "It's beautiful. It is the heart of the sky garden," the voice whispered, reverent. "Every wish in the world is rooted here. And every wisher is bound to it." Leora stepped closer, her pulse quickening. She could feel its warmth radiating, hear its low, thrumming heartbeat. If trees could have hearts, and then she saw it. Carved into the silver bark, glowing faintly, was her name. She stumbled back, her breath hitching. What does that mean?" "It means this place knows you," the voice said. "Because you are part of it." Her mouth went dry. "Part of it?" "Your wishes have planted more than blossoms, Leora. They have shaped roots deep in the fabric of hope. And now the garden answers." The tree shimmered, and from one of its branches, a fruit detached. It drifted down slowly, glowing brighter than the rest, until it hovered before her face. Inside its swirling light, she saw fragments, herself as a child whispering on the porch, her mother's tired smile, empty rooms, silent dinners. Her throat closed. Tears blurred her vision. "This is," her voice broke, "my life. Your story," the voice murmured. "But not the end of it." The fruit hovered closer, as if inviting her to touch it. Her hand trembled. "What happens if I do?" "You will see what comes next." Leora reached out and froze. For a heartbeat, she hesitated, fear twisting sharp in her gut. But then her fingers brushed the fruit's warm surface. The world shattered. Images exploded in her mind, memories, dreams, things that hadn't happened yet but felt real enough to hurt. She saw herself standing beneath a blackened sky, stars falling like dying embers. She saw the garden withering, vines curling and burning, blossoms turning to ash. And she saw herself, alone, her hands empty, her voice breaking on a scream that never reached the air. Then, as quickly as it began, the vision ended. The fruit dissolved in her palm like smoke. Leora staggered back, gasping. "No, no, that's not. What was that?" The voice was quieter now, solemn. "A warning." "A warning? Of what?" Her words came out sharp, brittle with panic. "Hope is powerful, child. But it is fragile. If the roots of the garden are severed, if the heart falls," the voice trailed off, heavy with meaning, "the night will never bloom again." Leora's skin went cold. "You mean, the stars? And everything they hold?" She shook her head, heart hammering. "Why are you telling me this? What can I possibly do?" The voice seemed to sigh, like the wind through endless leaves. "You planted the seeds, Leora. Only you can keep them alive." Before she could speak, a tremor rippled through the clearing. The vines quivered. Blossoms flickered like dying candles. Far above, the arch of stars dimmed, as though a shadow had brushed across them. A whisper threaded through the darkness, not the gentle voice from before, but something colder, hungrier. "It begins." Leora whirled, heart slamming against her ribs. "What was that?" The voice did not answer. The starlit path behind her twisted, warping into a coil of darkness that began creeping toward the clearing like smoke dot, and in the distance, something moved. Something vast. A shape like a void given form.